Just gently, real soft. Huh? You have to understand what the Lord is like. Now, when I began ministering in this city in the 70s, I really had no idea. I thought I did, but not really. Because you have to live, you have to grow up. Please, now, no children crying. It's important that the people didn't come to hear babies cry. They didn't come for that. Babies cry, they gotta be taken out. So when I started, I did not really know the Lord the way I know Him now. Yes, I knew Him as my Savior. Yes, I was beginning my journey of knowing Him. So I used to say, well, I know Jesus. Well, not really now. Paul the Apostle, before his death, said that I may know Him. And you wonder now, why would he say that? Did he not already know Him? Well, of course he knew Him. But he was talking about a deeper knowledge, a greater knowledge of who the Lord really is. What is He really like? And as you live and as you grow as a Christian, you have your challenges, you have your dark moments, you have your trials, and you see every single time He's there. He doesn't leave you. People leave you. Family leaves you. Jesus never leaves you. It's not His nature to leave you. Now, at one time, I had many friends. And then as you grow up in ministry, you discover that you really do not have friends. You only have people who are interested in using you. So there's no such thing as friends. There are interests. Can you put that screen off, please? Just shut it. I don't want to see anything on the screen right now. I don't want anybody to be reading anything. Yeah, much better. So there's only interests in life. If they can use you, they'll befriend you. The second they're through with you, they'll stab you. That's just a fact. The only true friend is the Son of God. Now, the Lord will give you certain people, maybe two, no more than three, who will really care for you, that you can call friend. But eventually that somebody will die or move away or not be able to be there for you when you need them. When my mom was alive, she was my friend, not just my mom. So when I had a problem, I'd call, say, Mom, pray for me. She did. Now she's in heaven. So who do I go to? I have news for you. He's a lot better than my mom. He's a lot better than my dad. And you grow closer to the Lord when family goes, Because who can you trust? Who can you really trust? Now, what is Jesus? What is he looking for? What is he really looking for? He's looking for people that he can trust. I was with a lady years ago who worked with Catherine Kuhlman named Maggie Hartner. Now, sweet Bill Prankard is here tonight, by the way, my friend Bill Prankard. Would you give him a big God bless you? And both of us were deeply touched by Catherine Kuhlman's ministry. And Bill went to her meeting like I did, and God touched him when they crossed over the border into Canada, and the miracles began happening on the bus. And we were very affected by that woman's ministry. And in 1976, she passed away. In 77, I got involved in her ministry for 4 years. I held meetings for her foundation. And I remember one night driving in the car, Maggie was driving. Now Maggie was like Catherine Kuhlman's right-hand lady, you know. I was in my 20s. Maggie back then was in her 60s or 70s. And I said, well, we stopped at a red light and she said, you see this building? This was like 11 p.m. at night. No cars on the road in Pittsburgh, downtown Pittsburgh. And she said, you see this building? She said, Miss Kuhlman and I lived here for 28 years. And then I happened to ask, why did God use her the way he did? And Maggie said, she looks at me, I'll never forget that moment. Because when she said those words, God walked in the car, you know, she pointed her finger at me and she said, he trusted her. And when she said he trusted her, I felt it. And then she said, and if God can trust you, he'll do the same with you. And even more. Now that was 1977. So in the early 70s, I would pray this prayer all the time. Make me somebody you can trust. Make me someone you can trust. That was my number one prayer for all those early years. And then God began to do the impossible, almost in my eyes anyways, filling stadiums worldwide, nationwide. In 1996, something happened. Not that good, may I say. I did not realize it then. I became so busy. I became so caught up with the ministry, the growth of the ministry, the income of the ministry. And without realizing it, you can stop playing a second. Without realizing it, I was spending more time with preachers who could help me in ministry than Jesus. I was spending more time, I'm going to be as raw as I could be. I was spending more time with Paul Crouch. We had dinners every week to ask about, you name it. Neglecting time with the Lord. I was spending more time with men of God, big names, powerful names. Oral Roberts. wanting to learn, wanting to understand, which was okay for a season. It's not okay all the time. It's okay for a season. And I was losing my contact with the Lord. Because when I began here in Toronto, all I did is worship God every day in my room. I never went to bed without worship all night long, playing in my room. I was so highly in love with Jesus. Not that I stopped to love him, I just became too busy for him. Busy. That's the word that can destroy lives. Busy. This began in 1996, but I did not realize it till about 2008, 2009. I looked back and I thought, what have I done? Why is this ministry like, why are all these problems happening? I mean, you name it, it happened. And then in 2010, everything fell apart. 2011, 2012, I thought, this is it. I'm going to die and stand before the Lord and see him upset, not happy with me. But one day, I woke up and I thought to myself, now all those people that I spent so much time with are gone. Gone. And those that you invested time in, who were on your staff, became enemies. Became enemies. Those you treated well and loved like family stabbed you in the back and went to the news and betrayed you. I asked the guy one day, you just don't think in those days why, CNN came to do a story on me. They were vicious. But I became a friend with the reporter. The reporter became friends with him. He was a nice man, an older man. And I said, who is telling you all this information? He knew everything. He knew more about me than I knew about me. He would ask me questions and I knew he knew more than I knew. And so one day I said, who's talking to you? Like, how you know all this about me? I said, you know more about me than I know about me. And he looks at me and said, don't ask me. I said, no, I really want to know who is talking to you. Who betrayed me? Who's the one who betrayed me? He looks at me, he says, he said, I like you. I said, well, I know I like you too, but would you please tell me? Who's telling you all this? Here's what he said. If I should tell you, you would have a heart attack. That's what he said. If I should tell you, you would have a heart attack. Then I knew that someone had to be real close to me. And that's, years ago. All those people today are gone. But then I found, I want to say this in the best way I can. I woke up one day and I discovered that the only one who was really still there and loved me is Jesus. Who would never betray you. And I was in shock that He was still there. That He would wait all those years. And everything began changing a few months ago, because I just said, you know, I've seen it all. I've seen everything. Now, you know, people ask me to do things, I don't even bother. I have come to the place in my life where all I want again is for Him to trust me. That's all I want. All I want is to please Him. I don't want to die. I don't want to die and find out I lost His favor. And I'm talking to you because now it's time you start thinking about your life. How many friends have betrayed you? How many family members have forgotten you? How many have used you for their own whatever? And now they're all gone and you're alone. In fact, they almost destroyed you. And the one who wants to help you is still there. The one who loves you is still there. So what do you have to do now? Regain His trust. Because when you regain His trust, He'll give you joy you've never known. Joy and peace that maybe you used to have. You used to have. Would you please bring me my phone? I want to show the people something. Someone, Marie or Tim, give me my phone. You know, I play worship in my house all the time. If you walk into my home, hey Timmy, come here. If you walk into my house, you may just not believe it. You know, I heard Judson Cornwell say years ago, he said, those who worship God in public have been worshiping Him in private. You can't worship God in public unless you worship in private. So, you know, in my house, you walk in and there's worship all the time. Frankly, in the hotels, oh my. I just start playing worship and I just forget the world. You know, this may surprise you. I'm very independent. I don't like people doing anything for me. I press my own clothes. This may shock you. I don't trust anyone with my clothes. I'm very fussy. So I start pressing my clothes like I did today. And I'm playing worship and I'm crying. This is one of my favorites. I just forget the world. Just forget the world. And you walk around and you're talking to the Lord. And the phone rings and you don't answer it. So, this guy lives in my house. Come here. Get a microphone. My son walked in to talk to me one day and I was just gone. He wanted something and I didn't answer him. And I'm just gone, like in the spirit gone, you know. And he just sat on the chair And finally I looked and he's on his knees crying. And rather than me saying, what do you want? I just ignored him. And then I see him with his hands up. He just walked out. Because sometimes when you're in the presence of God, what you think you want, He takes care of. So he's always there. And I walked out of the room a few days ago, and a guy with him flew out of his sandals. I mean, flew out. He was wearing those sandal deals, and he flew out. His sandals flew out. He hit the floor in my house. He often cries and walks around talking in tongues because he doesn't know what else to do. We've had visitations in the car. Tell him.
The car we've had, I don't know if any of you watch Facebook, Follow Faster on Facebook. It's almost dangerous because I'm driving and the presence of God is so strong. But I can only say it's the most supernatural experience ever.
I'm having a supernatural experience. Practice the presence of God and you will live daily in the miraculous.